But I'll tell you, this is my eyeball. I only got one. You know, I got two of them.
What flag is this?
The power of. Oh, I'm shaking. Oh no, this isn't good. Now I'm nervous.
Hello? Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Now you can hear me. I'm sorry, guys, about that. I was just saying, like, I had a really rough day today. I did acupuncture for the first time, and I've never done that before, and it was very overwhelming. It was very scary. And I freaked out on the table. Not once, not twice. Like 3 times I freaked out on the table. It wasn't just acupuncture, it was cupping. And with my background, I just being vulnerable with someone that I don't really know, having needles stuck in me, being touched, was just a lot. Um, the one that really freaked me out. They put the cupping one that freaked me out. Hearing the fire on my back, just that noise, just scared the fuck out of me, and I jumped when she put it like on me. And then she put like one needle up here. Oh my god, that shit. Pain, pain, fight or flight, fucking craziness. Oh my god. It was a lot, man. I have scapular winging on my shoulders. She had me stand up, and then, not stand up, sit up, and then she did some needles on my scapula by that area that hurts. And that was another one that I was just, when she put it in the needle, I felt it instantly, and I just started yelling. It was just yelling, 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 and I just couldn't help it. It just felt so painful, and instantly tears just coming out of my eyes. So that was my day, on top of work and some bullshit racism at work. So I'm just not feeling it today, man. But maybe this is like when we need to be learning more. But I just feel like my nervous system, I'm on fight or flight. I just feel like it's just a lot. Um, but with that being said, I'm going to we're gonna start reading this. I'm gonna put my oven real quick on warm. Give me a second. Bruh, it is so hot in my house. It is hot, but then it's also cold. It is literally 76 degrees in my house. I have the heater by my feet. I am going fucking through it today. Fucking going through it. Fuck. All right, Hegel and Hegelianism. All right, the young Hegelians, Hegel and Hegelianism. From the beginning, Marx showed much less interest in the practice of law than its underlying theory. It is not therefore surprising that by the autumn of 1837, his real interest had turned into philosophy, the philosophy of Hegel. Hegel had died in the cholera epidemic in 1834 or 1831. His appeal to a radical intellectually questioning student in the 1830s is not difficult to imagine. As Marx explained to his understandably anxious father, from the idealism of Kant and Fichte, I arrived at the point of seeking the idea in reality itself. To be a Hegelian was to accept some large claims, but a willingness to take seriously the claims of communism was not one of them. Hegel himself, in the philosophy of the right, his theory of the modern state, had condemned communism in unequivocal terms. Property was the means by which the will acquired existence, so it therefore had to possess the characteristics of being mine. Hegel called this the important doctrine of the necessity of private property, the idea of a pious or friendly or even compulsory brotherhood of men with communal property, and a ban of the principle of private property. Hegel thought that thought could only suggest itself to that disposition of which misjudges the nature of the freedom of spirit and right. Why, therefore, should a serious and philosophically trained follower of Hegel come to espouse the communist cause? The short answer is that after the 1830s revolutions, as Prussia increasingly turned its back upon the lengthy period of liberal reform forced upon it after the defeat of Napoleon in 1806, it also became increasingly difficult to remain a Hegelian. Like the Prussian reforms, Hegel's philosophy had been a product of the tumultuous years between 1789 and 1819, the years of the French Revolution, of a world war, of Napoleon's abolition of Holy Roman Empire and transformation of Central Europe, and finally the establishment of an entirely new European system of the Congress of Vienna. This turmoil had not simply been political. Before it had become engulfed in war and revolution, German-speaking Europe, or at least its educated class, had already entered a period of religious crisis engendered by the new critical philosophy of Kant and the rehabilitation of the atheist or pantheist doctrine of Spinoza. The fall of the ancient regime in France succeeded by the collapse across Europe of so many forms of ancient authority, spiritual as well as temporal, had only added to a fear of the imminence of nihilism, a term invented in 1780s to describe the crisis of faith. Sorry about that, guys. Hegel's idea of the absolute spirit and of the world history as the progress of reason and freedom, his famous doctrine of the identity of reason and actuality embodied in his depiction of the modern state, and his insistence that religion and philosophy only differed in form, were all part of his response to this multifaceted crisis. I'm also gonna not lie to, they put these stickers, I'm gonna take this off. This is like a pressure point sticker that they put on me. Look, that shit hurt. That shit has been giving me a fucking headache right now. I'm gonna take it off. It's been on my ear. I think it's this one. Yep, it was that one for sure. I had like 5 of them holes in there. I only have 2 now. Fuck. Alright, sorry guys. I'll take them all off. Fuck. This doesn't feel okay. It just hurts. Okay, there's 2 more left on there. Damn, that fucking hurts. Let me see. Hegel's idea of the absolute spirit and the world of history as the progress of reason and freedom, his famous doctrine of the identity of reason and actuality embodied in his depiction of the modern state, and his insistence that religion and philosophy had only differed in form, were all part of his response to this multifaceted crisis. The center point of conservative criticism of the French Revolution started from Edmund Burke's 1790 reflections on revolution in France, which had rapidly been translated into German, had been the portrayal of revolutionaries as fanatical adherents of disembodied reason. Deaf to the lessons of history and experience, by embedding reason in history, Hegel had been able to steer a middle course in the battle between rationalists and traditionalists. He had endorsed the criticism of the abstractness of the notion of reason espoused by the French Jacobins and the followers of Kant, the placing of reason placed outside space and time. But he turned this conservative attack on its head by arguing that reason itself was a historical product, and therefore that the revolution, far from being an arbitrary event, had been prepared by the whole course of previous history. It was true, Hegel believed, that no belief or institution would survive unless justified by reason. But he did not think that such an idea had been an invention of the French Revolution. Ever since Luther, this assumption had been implicit in the Protestant Christianity, just as it now formed the foundation of the modern state. It was only because the state was based upon reason and freedom that it could be recognized as a legal and political community, I don't know what that means, in which the individual could self-consciously will the common will as his or her own will. Such a principle presupposed freedom of opinion, religious toleration, and the separation of church and state, together with the elimination of the residues of feudalism, civil inequality, and arbitrary privilege. But Hegel also agreed that those critics of, such as Hamann, who had objected to this embodied character of reason as it had been deployed by Kant, reason could not be treated as if it existed beyond the constraints of time and space. Reason had a history. It was embodied in language and in culture. Languages and cultures changed over time and differed across spaces. Thus, reason should not be considered a formal criterion of judgment, a mere ought, but rather as something embodied in more or less developed form in the spirit of a particular people. It was for this reason that the future of freedom appeared to Hegel more secure in the Germanic Protestant areas of Northern Europe than it had been in the Catholic and Jacobin France. From its necessarily embodied character, it also followed reason was part of nature. It also followed that reason was part of nature. One of the reasons for the crisis of belief engineered by Kant in the 1780s had been that the impossibility of coupling or immaterial notion of freedom to a wholly determinist picture of nature, including man himself so far as he was a natural being. Following the lead of his friend Schelling, therefore, Hegel had abandoned this mechanical idea of nature and adopted a vitalistic conception drawn upon recent advances in the life sciences. Both man and the whole of existence now belonged to a single substance, an absolute, whose form was organic. Body, mind, reason, and nature, being and consciousness then became different degrees of organization of a single living force. In place of the static and mechanically contrived 17th century system of good or nature worked out by Spinoza, what had been devised was a new interactive notion of the whole as a self-engineered, engendering organic process of activity. The defect of this romantic conception of absolute life was that it abstracted from all specific differences and could only be grasped through religious or artistic intuition. I'm fucking distracted, y'all. I can't fucking do this, bruh. I'm fucking distracted today. I will come back. I need to just relax. I need to just meditate or something. You guys have a great day. I'm sorry for being fucking weird on fucking stream. Here's another fucking thing that they put on me. It's a fucking sticker with it's like with metal balls for like pressure points, and like it's cool, but it just hurts my ears. I'm fucking tired. Today was overwhelming, y'all. I need to fucking eat. I'm tired. We can do this tomorrow or fucking Monday on regular schedule. I have another one right here. This one's fine. This is on my wrist. Like, that's fine. But like on my ear, it's doing too much, bruh. But you guys have